Welcome back to SRC.
It's Color Week,
And today we are reading How to Train Your Dragon by Cressida, Cowell.
and we're making marbled paint art, so stay tuned. Today we're going to be doing marbled paint art on canvases. Let's jump in.
For this craft, you will need a canvas, some plastic cups, some paint, especially white paint, and then any other colors you'd like. Start by adding a healthy amount of white acrylic paint into the bottom of a cup. After this, add various amounts of various colors that you'd like to marble together. We chose 2 shades of purple, 2 shades of green, and pink. But you could use any color combination you'd like. Then, with some form of stir stick, gently stir your paint around. Now you're ready to add the paint to the canvas. We use solo cups to hold the canvas away from the table. You're going to want to flip your cup of paint quickly onto the canvas. Then make sure you tap the cup all around to dislodge the paint. And then carefully lift the cup up. Slowly move the paint around the canvas until the whole canvas is filled with paint. Make sure you have something down underneath you, as this part gets very messy. We just have a garbage bag underneath to catch all the excess paint. Once you're happy with how it looks, put it aside to dry for 48 to 36 hours. And you're done.
This is how ours turned out. Hope you guys have fun.
Today we will be reading the first chapter of How to Train Your Dragon by Cressida, Cowell, published by Hodder Children's Books. First, catch your dragon. Long ago, on the wild and windy Isle of Berk, a smallish Viking with a longish name stood up to his ankles in snow. Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III, the hope and heir to the tribe of the Hairy Hooligans, had been feeling slightly sick ever since he woke up that morning. 10 boys, including Hiccup, were hoping to become full members of the tribe by passing the dragon initiation program. They were standing on a bleak little beach at the bleakiest spot on the whole bleak island. A heavy snow was falling. "Pay attention," screamed Gober the Blech, the soldier in charge of initiation. "This will be your first military operation, and Hiccup will be commanding the team." "Oh, not Hiccup," groaned Dog's Breath the Dobrain and most of the other boys. "You can't put Hiccup in charge, sir. He's useless." Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III, the hope and heir to the tribe of the Hairy Hooligans, wiped his nose miserably on his sleeve and sank a little deeper in the snow. "Anybody would be better than Hiccup," sneered Snotface Snotlout. "Even Fishlegs would be better than Hiccup." Fishlegs had a squint that made him as blind as a jellyfish, and an allergy to reptiles. "Silence!" roared Gober the Blech. "The next boy to speak has limpets for lunch for the next 3 weeks. There was absolute silence immediately. Limpets were a bit like worms and a bit like snot, and a lot less tasty than either. "Hiccup will be in charge, and that is an order," screamed Gober, who didn't do noises quieter than screaming. He was a 7-foot-tall giant with a mad glint in his one working eye and a beard like exploding fireworks. Despite the freezing cold, he was wearing hairy shorts and a teeny-weeny deerskin vest that showed off his lobster-red skin and bulging muscles. He was holding a flame torch in one gigantic fist. Hiccup will be leading you, although he is admittedly completely useless because Hiccup is the son of the chief. And that's the way things go with us, Vikings. Where do you think you are, the Republic of Rome? Anyway, that is the least of your problems today. You are here to prove yourself as a Viking hero. And it is ancient tradition of the hooligan tribe that you should, Gober paused dramatically, first catch your dragon. Oh, suffering scallops, thought Hiccup. Our dragons are what set us apart, bellowed Gober. Lesser humans train hawks to hunt for them, horses to carry them. It is only the Viking heroes who dare to tame the wildest, most dangerous creatures on earth. Gober spat solemnly into the snow. There are 3 parts to the dragon initiation test. The first and most dangerous part is a test of your courage and skill of burglary. If you wish to enter the hairy hooligan tribe, you must first catch your dragon. And that is why, Gober continued at full volume, I have brought you to this scenic spot. Take a look at the wild dragon cliff itself. The 10 boys tipped their heads backwards. The cliff loomed dazzlingly high above them, black and sinister. In summer, you could barely even see the cliffs, as dragons of all shapes and sizes swarmed over it, snapping and biting, sending up a cacophony of noise that could only be heard all over Berk. But in the winter, the dragons were hibernating, and the cliff fell silent, except for the ominous low rumble of their snores. Hiccup could feel the vibrations under his sandals. Now, said Gober, do you notice those 4 caves about halfway up the cliff, grouped roughly in the shape of a skull? The boys nodded. Inside the cave that would be the right eye of the skull is the Dragon Nursery, where there are, at this very moment, 3,000 young dragons having their last few weeks of winter sleep. Ooh, muttered the boys excitedly. Hiccup swallowed hard. He happened to know that considerably more about dragons than anyone else there. Ever since he was a small boy, he'd been fascinated by the creatures. He'd spent hour after long hour dragon watching in secret. Dragon spotters were thought to be geeks and nerds, hence the need for the secrecy. And what Hiccup had learnt about dragons told him that walking into a cave with 3,000 dragons in it was an act of madness. No one else seemed too concerned, however. In a few minutes, I want you to take one of these baskets and start climbing the cliff, commanded Gober the Bletch. Once you're at the cave entrance, you're on your own. I'm too large to squeeze my way into the tunnels that lead to the Dragon Nursery. You will enter the cave quietly, and that means you too, Warty Hog, unless you want to become the first spring meal for the 3,000 hungry dragons. Ha ha ha. Gober laughed heartedly at his joke, then continued. Dragons this size are normally fairly harmless to man, but in these numbers they will set upon you like piranhas. There'd be nothing left of even a fatso like you, Warty Hog. Just a pile of bones and your helmet. Ha ha. So, you will walk quietly through the cave, and each boy will steal 1 sleeping dragon, lift the dragon gently from the rock, and place it in your basket. Any questions so far? Nobody had any questions. In the unlikely event you do wake the dragons, and you would have to be idiotically stupid to do so, run like thunder for the entrance to the cave. Dragons do not like cold weather, and the snow will probably stop them in their tracks. Probably, thought Hiccup. Oh, well, that's reassuring. I suggest that you spend a little time choosing your dragon. It is important to get one the correct size. This will be the dragon that hunts fish for you and pulls down deer for you. You will catch the dragon that will carry you into battle later on, when you are much older and the warrior of the tribe. But nonetheless, you will want an impressive animal. So a rough guide would be, choose the biggest creature that will fit into your basket. Don't linger for too long in there. Linger, thought Hiccup, in a cave full of 3,000 sleeping dragons? I need not tell you, Gober continued cheerfully, that if you return to this spot without a dragon, it's hardly worth coming back at all. Anybody who fails at this task will be put into immediate exile. The hairy hooligan tribe has no use for failures. Only the strong can belong. Unhappily, Hiccup looked around the distant horizon. Nothing but snow and sea as far as the eye could see. Exile didn't look too promising either. Right, said Gober briskly. Each boy Take a basket to put their dragon in, and we'll get going. The boys rushed to get their baskets, chattering happily and excited. I'm going to get one of those monstrous nightmarish ones with the extra extendable claws. They're really scary, boasted Snotlout. Oh, shut up, Snotlout. You can't, said Speedyfast. Only Hiccup can have a monstrous nightmare. You have to be a son of the chief. Hiccup's father was Stoic the Vast, the fearsome chief of the Hairy Hooligans tribe. Hiccup, sneered Snotlout. If he's as useless at this as he is at Bashyball, we'll be lucky if he even gets one of the basic browns. The basic brown was the most common type of dragon, a serviceable beast without much glamour. Shut up and get into line, you miserable tadpoles, yelled Glober the Bleach. The boys scrambled to their places, baskets on their backs, and stood to attention. Gober walked along the line, lighting each torch that the boy held in front of him from the great flare in his hand. In a half-hour's time, you will be a Viking warrior with your faithful serpent at your side, or breakfasting with Woden in Valhalla with dragon's teeth in your bottom, screaming Gober with horrible enthusiasm. Death or glory, yelled Gober. Death or glory, yelled 8 boys back at him fanatically. Death, thought Hiccup and Fishlegs sadly. Gober paused dramatically with the horn to his lips. I think this could possibly be the worst moment of my life so far, thought Hiccup to himself as he waited for the blast of the horn. And if they shout much louder, we're going to wake up those dragons before we even start. Barp! Gober blew the horn.
If you'd like to read the rest of How to Train Your Dragon, you can find it at the library.
Thanks for tuning in!